Hello everyone, welcome back to the TinkerCAD lesson. So we're going to start off with TinkerCAD. We're going to do some 2D design today, and we're going to kind of cheat and do some 3D design and then turn it back into 2D design. Just because I want you to not have to learn another space to work in to do several things, and you can do that from here. And so we're going to go ahead and do it in TinkerCAD. So you watched the video about TinkerCAD, you kind of moved your way through it. If you have questions about how to do something, by all means let me know. I'll be walking around and answering questions, and I can do some of this stuff live as well, but some people like to follow along with videos and go piece by piece. So I wanted to record one just in case. So we're going to go ahead and sign in. You're probably still signed in because you just watched the other one, but I signed out just in case you had also. And so this is going to autofill for me. And once you get back in here, you can see your dashboard with all of your previous designs while that loads. So you can see previous designs down here. I'm going to go ahead and start a new design. So we'll click New Design right here, the blue button, I should say. That'll bring up a new workspace. So as I said, we're going to do some 3D design that we're going to turn into a 1D design. So you can pick whatever shape you want to do. I'm going to just do a circle for the sake of simplicity, but if you want to just do an octagon or an oval or whatever kind of shape you would like to do, you're welcome to that. Or possibly an oval would be good, but anyway, I'm going to show you what it is we're making. We're going to be making a gauge so that you can quickly identify which thickness of plastic or possibly foam that you're looking at. So if you had a piece of plastic and you're like, well, is this quarter, is this 3/16? You can use this gauge and just kind of slide it over and see, oh yeah, that's going to be this one. So like I said, I'm going to start with a cylinder just because I think that'll be kind of the easiest, but a little bit tricky in its own right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to delete that real quick because I have a tendency to choose to work in inches. So I'm going to drop this down. I know millimeters are better, but I just think in inches, so it is what it is. So I updated the grid, so now it's in inches. I'm going to grab this ruler. I'm going to drag it down to the side of the work plane so that I can see the sizes of things. Let's get that out of the way over here. And as I said, I'm going to grab a cylinder. So now that I've changed it to inches, the size will be noted here. I'm going to change that to, let's say, 3 inches by 3 inches. I'm going to go ahead and shorten that just because it doesn't need to be any taller. So I'm going to change that to 1.25, so 1/8 of an inch, and I'm just going to kind of drag it to the middle of the work plane. For the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and use a top-down view because of the way we're going to be doing it. I want you to kind of think of this as if it was in 3 dimensions. I'm sorry, as if it was in 2 dimensions. So we're going to kind of treat that like it's in 2 dimensions. So we're going to get a block out here. Actually, before we do that, let's look at this. So you can kind of see, if I zoom in here, you can see how many sides this circle has. And since it's not a true circle, right? It's a faceted thing with these little flat sides. And the more sides it has, the finer that circle is around. So right now it has 20 sides, and you can take that all the way up to 60. And you can see that as I bring that up, the smoother the edge gets. So I'm going to grab that all the way up to 64. And then that'll be a little better final product. So I'll go ahead and leave that, and this is going to be a solid for the moment, so you can see it's solid here. You can change the color there by clicking on that. If you want to use a different color, it's not going to matter in the long run, but while you're looking at it, if you'd like it to be a different color, you're welcome to change it at this point. Now, we're going to go ahead and start putting in the notches so that we can get a feel for what size of a thing something is. So I'm going to grab a box here, and we're going to make that 1/16 inch across. And 1/16 is in decimal is 0.0625. We're going to do that in 16th. And we'll leave that at 1 inch, and that's fine. But we are going to cut that out. So we're going to make that into a hole instead of a solid. So you can go back and forth between solid and hole. And then we're going to line those up. So we want that to be kind of centered on the edge. So we're going to use the tool. We're going to highlight both of them. So highlight, drag a box over both of them. And then you can click the button here that says Align. And if you click on this one, it's going to line them up middle to middle. And you can move those around if you wanted it in the center, but for the moment we just want it to be centered off to the side like that. And that's going to be where we want it. So we can put that right there. And then I just want to know which one that is. So I'm going to grab some text here, drag that out, and over here on the side, it'll let you change what that text says. So I'm going to change that to 1/16, and then just a little dash mark, and then 0.0625. And that's huge, obviously, and I'm gonna make that smaller. So I'm gonna click Whole here, and then I'm gonna just drag this over here. I'm gonna touch that just so I have it highlighted, and then I'm going to grab a corner down here on the bottom left. You can see my cursor. I'm going to hold the Shift button so that it doesn't change the scale, and I'm going to start making it smaller. So I'm going to let that go, move that back over so I can see it a little better. Hit Shift again, grab that corner, and make it smaller. Smaller, 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 smaller. The other way I could do that would be to click in here and change the dimensions directly, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'll just kind of wing it. If you'd like to be a little bit more precise, that is fine, but just for the sake of showing you quickly, I'm just going to do that. So we want now to turn that. So I'm going to go over here to the left here. You see this little arc, and then a compass kind of comes up. You can click on that, and then turn, click there, and then you can see where it'll jump. If you keep your cursor close to the center and you move it, it'll jump in kind of increments. So 22.5 to 45, up to 67.5, and then up to 90. So I want that to be 90 degrees. I'm going to grab that and drag it over here so that it is, you know what, it's not tall enough. So see, I pulled it over into the circle, right? But it's not tall enough to actually cut through. So we want that to be seen above. So we're going to go here and we're going to take the height. Which one's the height? We've moved it around and now it's a little harder to see. So let's drag it back out so we can see. This one here is the height. You can see if you move around that there's little arrows there that show that that's the height. So we're going to change that to 1.25. It's going to be taller than the circle, but that's fine. We're not that worried about that. We're just going to drag that on. Oh, you know what? I've moved this. Okay. 1 second. We're going to drag that back, and we're going to get that realigned. So I just highlighted the circle and the cutout for the 1/16 mark. I'm going to go back to Align. And the other thing I'm going to do is bring that forward. So I forgot that first time. So we centered it here, and we also want to bring it right to the edge. So I missed that the first time I did it, but now it should go right to the edge and be fine. I'd like to make that a little bit smaller for the text, that is. So I'm going to click on the text again. Click Shift. Just a little bit smaller. That looks about right. Whoop. Control Z. Undo what I just did. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to get a hold of this text again. Just going to zoom in. At some point, I flipped that around. So let's grab that corner, hold the Shift button, oh no, that's fine. I was just misreading it. I'll just turn around because I have it upside down. No, I don't. It is upside down. Hold on a second. When did I do that? Nope, wrong direction. It's real easy to grab the wrong piece and spin something a different direction than you want it to. So I spun that 180. Now we can see the text. I'm not sure how I managed, when I managed to flip that over, but I did. So see how if I I'm right clicking and left clicking here. So left click, right, I'm sorry, left arrow, right arrow. And I am fine with that placement. So it's like right at the edge, on the inner edge. But if I wanted it to step over with the left button a little bit less, I could come down here and change the snap grid. And that's jumping at 1/8 of an inch at a time. So I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to bring that down to 1/16 of an inch. And so it'll say 1/16 of an inch now. And then if I push the left arrow, it's just going to line up a little better. I just like that placement a little bit better. So we're going to do it that way. And then we're going to highlight all of that. Excuse me. We're going to highlight all of that at once. So now all of it's in there. And then we're going to hit group. So that's going to group those together. It's going to cut out the space that had the hole. And now that text is a hole that goes through the piece of the disk, and so is the slot that we made. And did that cut all the way through? Yes, it did. Okay. Good. Now, you could draw a box again for your next size and then twist it around so that it is a little bit oblique and then put it in there. But I think it'll be easier if I just take this and let's see, we want to do, how many do we want to do? We're going to do 16th, 8th, 3/16, quarter, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16 and half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we want to do eighths. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So to do that, we're going to get a top-down view here. And rather than, like I said, rather than make them and try to square or like twist the cubes, we'll just go ahead and turn the circle by 25 degrees or 22.5 degrees. So you see it jumped right to there. And now, oh, you know, I want to do further than that, don't I? That was not, that's 22.5. That makes more sense. Okay, I thought that looked funny. So that's 22.5. So we're going to do the same thing, right? We're going to bring this box out. We're going to make it 0.125. And then we're going to line those up. Do you remember how to line them up? We're going to highlight both of them. We're going to hit the align button, hit this button here, and this button here, or this little handle here. And that brings that out to there. Make that as, whoops, Control Z again, undo, or the undo button here up at the top. And I'm going to get a better view of that. So we're going to grab that. I'm going to make that shorter. So if you watch the first video, you see that this top button, this little button here on top, is going to bring that down. That didn't quite do what I wanted to do, but that's fine. It doesn't actually need to be much shorter. I just thought it was kind of in the way. So let me realign those. Nope, sorry. That one. Realign that way and that way. All right. And we're going to make that a hole again. We'll do the same thing. We'll bring some text out here. And instead of text, we're going to change that. Change that so it says 1/8 dash 0.125. Get it over here. Hold the shift button so we can make that smaller. Drag it over here onto the base plate again. Make it a little bit smaller. Even smaller. That looks about right. So we got close. So I can use the rotate here. I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. We got to make that a little bit taller again, just like we did last time. So I'm going to grab that and just bring it up a little bit. Make that a hole. And we're going to bring that over here and line that up. And that needs to be just a little bit smaller again. So shift and grab that and bring it down. Highlight that, move it over just a little bit. Well, that's about where I want it. Maybe a little bit down. And there's nothing really precise about that we need. The importance is that we can read what size it is and that it makes the slot. Everything else is just how you want to design it. So we'll group those again. So we'll group that, and that'll cut those spaces out of the disk. And now we have 2 slots. So continue doing that, working around your way around the disk. And then, so go through, put in all the slots, put in your text saying what they are, and then you can do that. You know what, actually, looking at it, I think that's going to be, the slots are going to be a little bit deep. I don't think we need them to be a full inch in. So let's just undo some stuff real quick. So we're going to ungroup, and that'll ungroup the last thing we did, but not everything. And then we're going to ungroup again, and that'll bring in the previous ones that we did. And since this one is the one that was longer, and it's the one that's squared up right now, we'll change that to 0.5. I think that's going to be a little bit better. So we're going to click on that box. We're going to hold the Control button and click on the disk. Oh, sorry, the Shift button, and then click on the disk. And then we'll realign those ones. That's already lined up, and that's lined up the way we want it now. I think that'll be a little bit better. So we will grab everything, draw a big box around. Oh. My mouse is being a little strange today. A couple times now I've clicked and dragged, and instead of dragging a box, it's grabbed things and then moved them for me. And then I'm going to rotate this back to there, because if you changed the length of this box while it was oblique like that, it tries to do it obliquely and won't give you a nice easy way to do that. So we can zoom that in, and instead of doing that and having to realign it, I'm going to do it a little bit different way. So we're going to zoom in here, grab the middle one. So there's 3 here, right? So that one's the left corner, the way we're looking at right now, the white one there. This other white one is the right corner of that side. And then that middle one, which is the black dot, is the one that's going to change the length. And so I want that black dot, if I can grab it. Zoom in a bit, there we go. And I'm just going to bring that down. Zoom back out a little bit. So the scroll wheel, I might have said in the other video, I don't remember now which video it's in, but the scroll wheel is going to let you zoom out, zoom in. To pivot kind of up, down, you're going to right click and then push up, push down. And then if you want to move right, left, you're going to click right down, and then you can pan like right, left. So I know some people struggle with getting their kind of bearings on this, but just play with it a little bit, and I think everyone will get it with no problem. So I'm going to grab that again. I'm going to bring it down shorter, see where that actually puts me. So I didn't quite cut to 0.5, but I'm just going to fill that in 0.5, and that'll be where I want it. And let's just make sure I'm still aligned, align. Oh. Yeah, see what I did there? I moved the circle off of that one, so I'm going to undo that. So we'll just click up here to undo. And I'll fix that myself because I think I shifted it. So I'm going to click on that box and I'm going to push the up arrow just to scooch it over. So if I push it there, you see it's jumped through to the plastic and it won't be cut all the way edge. Move it down and now it is back on the edge. But if I group all of that now, group, then those are cut out and labeled. And so go ahead and continue your way around and do the rest of those. Once you've done that, then you have some options. If you want to do something else, at that point it's mostly just decorative. Sometimes it takes a little while to render, so if it's hanging up on you like that, just wait for it. And if it has stopped working, sometimes, occasionally, you got to click out to your up here to the TinkerCAD. Just click out to the gallery or the all of your designs out there, and then come back into it. And sometimes that's what you need to do to get that, because this one does seem to be, there it goes. Sometimes you just gotta wait for it. All right, so you can do that. So like I said, work your way around to the edge there and put in your different slots. When you're done, if you want to do anything else just for decoration or just to try to make it a little bit nicer for you, I'm going to put in a little like lanyard spot here. So we'll put 0.25 and click there for the width, 0.25. So just a 1/4 of an inch hole. I'm going to make that a hole, drag it over here and just stick it between these. It doesn't exactly matter where I put it. It's just going to be there. I'll get a little closer to the edge. Right there looks fine. So we got that, and then let's say we want, a little bit of decoration in the middle there. You can put in like a shape. You can put in a star or a hole in the center or anything like that. You can also kind of scroll through here and look at some of the different options. I believe there's another text tool. See if I can find it quickly. Yeah, there, text and numbers. And so you can put in individual letters, one by one by one. That's how you used to have to do all of their lettering because they didn't have that text tool, which makes this one a lot nicer. Let's see, that's not the one I was looking for, however. Connectors, characters. Let's just click all here. So you can put in states. So if one of you wants to put in the state you're from, you can put in the states. You can put in, they're loading slowly. There's another like circular text tool that I was looking for. I was going to say you could put your name around the middle of it, something like that. You could put your text in, put your name in as text with the same tool we've been using to put in the labels. That one wraps around. I thought there was one that wrapped around in a flat circle. There's a script there, so if you want something in like more in cursive, there's things that you can use to add in. Let's see, pie chart, QR code. What's this text one do? It has height, extrude height, and type size. You can add a picture. I don't know why you'd want to add a picture. I'm not sure what that does for you, but I'm not going to mess with that one. I'm going to just delete that. Wasn't that worried about it to begin with. Oh. Cancel. So I'm just going to delete that here. Delete. So like I said, that's fine. The other thing you can do is put in, if you have other designs in your own designs out in the lobby area of TinkerCAD, you can bring in other designs. I don't know if I've got anything out there worth grabbing. Let's go out there and just see. I have a couple different TinkerCAD accounts and I don't remember what's in which one, just because of making them for different reasons with different email addresses and things like that. Let's just see if that loads here pretty quickly. I don't know if I have anything, like I said, that would be worth making into a decoration or anything like that, but no, I don't think so. Not in this account anyways. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Let's go one more and just see if I had anything else good there. Nope. Alright, so let's grab that one because I liked it right here. Let's go into that one. Tinker this. So I, at some point, needed to do something with that used the Department of Radiology logo. So I have the Department of Radiology logo here. But I'm just going to use this part up here, the Loma Linda logo portion. So to get rid of this bottom part, I'm just going to grab that. Actually, no, I'll use Loma Linda University too. So I'll grab this, just drag like a negative space over the top of that, just to block that out. Link or highlight all of that, group them. Wait for that to render real quick here. All right, I'm going to click that, and I'm going to hit Control Copy. And then we're going to go back out to the lobby. Tinker this, go back to that. I didn't change the name of it, so it's still Terrific Elsing Snicket. As I said in the other video, it just automatically changes names. So when you, at some point in here, you want to change that name. So I'll do that now. Change that name to your last name. So it's just going to fill for Swinehart Lab 1. That's fine. Oh, I just left that text behind. So let's delete that again. And then we're going to just control the paste in here. That's going to be way big, but we're going to make that way small here. And remember to hit the, if you do something like this, remember to hit the Shift button so that it keeps its aspect ratio correct. And we want to make sure that that's tall enough to cut through as a negative space. So we're going to grab that one and bring it up so that it's thick enough. And we're going to make it a hole. We're going to drag it over here onto the center. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to make sure that these are all grouped. So I'm going to take those and group them again, which they're all grouped except for that like lanyard hole that I put in, right? So loop, I'm going to lock that because I don't want these to shift. And what I'm about to do would possibly make any of these things that were ungrouped shift. I don't want that. So I'm going to let them now have all grouped, and then I can highlight everything, and then I can use the align tool, and I can center that, and center that, And then if I link, or if I group that now, then that logo I just added will cut through the disk. So if you wanted to put a star there, or a circle there, or your name there, or some kind of design there, you're welcome to do that. You can just kind of play with the designs there if you want to add something. If you don't, that's fine. If you any of the shapes you wanted, if you wanted to do this as a circle, or if you wanted to do it as a octagon or anything else, you could have. So like I said, I'm going to leave it to you guys to go ahead and go around the thing and put in all the different slots, but I do want you to do from 1/16 out to the 1/2. And if it looks like something's kind of bunched up, then you can kind of scooch things apart as you need to. And if you have followed through this and haven't had any problems, then you're all set. Go ahead and submit on Canvas. There's a place where you, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a step. We got to get this out of here, right? We got to get this out of here as a 2D file, even more specifically. So, okay, so now let's say you're done. So you've done all of those. You've put in all of your labels. If you want to put in a decoration, if you want to put in a lanyard hold, anything like that, you've done all those things, right? Okay, so now you want to export. So up here in the upper right, there's a button that says export. So you're going to click that, and then you can get it out here as a couple different types of 3D printing files or 3D design files, and we'll talk about those later. These are definitely names that are going to come up. These file types are definitely going to come up later in the course, but for today we're just looking at 2D design, and so we're going to go down here where it says it's for laser cutting, so it's going to stay in a 2D design, and then it's going to take it out as an SVG or a scalable vector graphic file. So we're just going to click the SVG button there, and it's going to download it in your browser. You'll download it to your computer, and then you can go over to Canvas and you can upload it. So just upload that with your name and the lab number and upload it to Canvas for me, and you'll be all set. And if you have done all this without talking to me, great. If you needed any help along the way, we've talked, and when you're done like this, you are all set and you can leave. So thank you for following along with this tutorial, and have a good day.